the whole damn day because it is now time. It's time to wine. Look how long we wait for the carnival just to take a wine again. I tell you it's crumble time. We need a wine. Look how long we can get carnival jumping on the road. Everybody jump out now with the misty bacchanal. Wine and wait for carnival. Jump up in the juve and the wet jet can't get away. Jump and wait for bacchanal. Wine and wait for carnival. Carnival. We need the festival. Like a jumping
9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Thursday morning here on WEFM with Roleza and Dianna on Activated Mornings. Good morning to all of our listeners. Everybody who is tuned into WEFM right now, you are in the right place, the best place to be at this time of the morning. Along with Roleza and myself, we have PeeJohn on the line who is going to give us his morning commentary. PeeJohn, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dianna. Good morning, Roleza. Now, today marks day 2 of the sitting of the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, the CPEA. This year, I'm informed that a total of 1,691 grade 6 students have registered for the exams in English, mathematics, social studies, and science. This year's cohort comprises 820 females and 871 males. Before I go any further, I extend best wishes to all students, teachers, parents, and guardians participating in this year's sitting of the CPEA. In the next few weeks, students and parents will have to contend with the next hurdle, which is in which of the 26 institutions, secondary institutions, will they be placed. Placement is based primarily on a child's rank in the assessment. The higher the rank, the greater the likelihood of a child being placed in a school of his or her choice. Lower ranking students are placed generally in a school that is relatively in close proximity to their place of residence, along with some other factors. As it stands now, there are 6 schools which tend to make it to the top of everyone's list of choices. These include the Girls High School, the St. Vincent Grammar School, Thomas Sanders Secondary School, the St. Joseph Convents, Kingston and Maricopa, and the St. Martin Secondary School. The other schools are deemed to be quote-unquote unattractive for a variety of reasons. And this is rather unfortunate. I plan to come back to this issue in a subsequent rant. In the meantime, I would like to suggest that serious consideration be given to placing students in schools in their communities or in close proximity thereto. Why should a child travel daily from Chateaubelair, for instance, to Kingston or Annisville to attend a secondary school? He or she passes 5 quality schools before getting Kingston. That is 5 quality secondary schools before getting to Kingston. The resources, material and human, that are deployed in so-called town schools are no better than those deployed in rural schools. It is my considered view right now in SVG. A school is a school. I will definitely come back to this issue in a later rant. Right now, that is my rant for the day.
All right, then. Thank you very much, PeeJohn. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right. righty. Good morning once again to all those who are listening to WeFM. This is Activated Mornings with Roleza and Dianna. We just heard from PeeJohn with his usual morning commentary there, speaking about schools. You're speaking about CPEA, the placing of students in the various schools across the island, the town schools versus the rural schools. All right, we already have a caller. So, hello, caller. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yes. Maybe that's the only thing that I agree with Pigeon. He have my support. Why is it that students from Fancy had to travel all the way to town to get an education? So then, therefore then, let me qualify, get the teachers then, the same teachers in the town school. Let me get them qualified equally, and then let the children them attend the school courses to them, and the burden of financially where the parents is struggling wouldn't be no more. So I really agree with Pigeon with that one.
All
That's
right.
my take on it. I agree with Pigeon.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, yes, good. All right, yes.
I didn't get a chance to say good morning to you, Roleza, so I'm good morning.
Oh, yeah. Good morning. Yes. Good morning, Dianna. Good morning to everybody. And as usual, I'm hoping that you are doing okay. It is the middle of the month, the smack middle of the month. All right. Some people getting paid today. All right. Just putting that there. So I hope that everybody is doing fine. And yes, all right. We could continue.
Okay. All right. So that's an interesting thing that PeeJohn brought up there. That's something that I've heard persons talk about for years. The whole town school versus the rural school situation, where here we have this ideology that these certain schools are quote unquote better than other schools. Even with the primary schools, we do that because you would have persons who live, let's say there are people who live in Clare Valley. They don't send their children to the Clare Valley government school. They send them to a school in town. They don't consider the school to be that up to par, and it's the same that goes for several other rural schools as well. But what I can say about that is the school is just a building. The school is just a structure, and what makes the school is the people in the school. So it's the students, it's the parents, and it's the teachers. And oftentimes when we're looking at schools and we're considering, we think that this school may be doing better academically or even with the behavior of the children. A lot of times, well, if not all of the times, it's the people that contribute to that, because in some schools you have some parents, you have the parental support is strong. It is strong. The parents are helping their children with their schoolwork, and that's why they're able to perform a little bit better. There are parents who they would show up for their children. If you look at outside the school at particular times of the day, you would see the parents there. You'll see the parents there supporting their children, bringing them to school, or going for them from school. They assist with homework, they assist with projects, they go to the various meetings that are held in school. Some parents, the child go through the entire school, like from lower level to upper level, and you've never seen their parents. You have no idea who their parents are. But these are some of the people who would sit down and say, oh, this school is better than this school is better than that school. As it relates to the qualification of teachers, you have various qualifications of teachers in all of the schools. I cannot say at this point where this thing with, what is better than what, apart from the things that I just spoke about. I can't say where this whole thing came from. I understand that high school is one of those schools from
girls' high school.
Yes, as in girls' high school, right? We know that it originally who it was built for, who it was meant for initially.
It's not just high school. I remember grammar school is also
and it's brother school, the St. Vincent Grammar School as well. So I believe that some of the things that we have associated with that school came down from there as well. But other than that, that is it for me. But what I could definitely say is the people in the school, the parents, teachers, and the students, they all have to work together to help that school environment to be the best environment that you want it to do. As a parent, you cannot sit down and say, oh, I want my child to go to this school because this school better than this school. But you don't play your part. It's not just about the child going to the school. There's a part that you have to play as well. And sometimes why some schools do better in terms of behavior and academics than other schools is because of the parents that you have, the way they push their children, the kind of support that you would get from the school. If you have events and you want the parents to be there, the kind of support that you would get from the school, from those parents. Sometimes that really is it. Yeah, that's it for me for now.
Yeah. All right. So this is a bit of a ticklish one for me, right? I can appreciate the thought of all schools should be schools, right? All schools should be on the same level. The reality of the situation is that's not what's happening right now, right? Let's look at the first thing of prestige. Now, there are schools, and it's not just GHS and not just grammar school, right? There are other schools that we can call out that many persons or many parents would like for their children to attend, right? We can add to the list St. Martin's Secondary School. We can add to the list Thomas Saunders. We could also add to the list St. Joseph's Convent, Kingston, right? And many parents want for their children to go to these schools, not just because that the schools seem to have, or they actually do have, the more qualified teachers, but there's also the issue of discipline. When we have to look at St. Joseph's Convent and let's say St. Martin's, the kind of discipline that is instilled in the children, or the things that other schools may let slide, those Catholic schools or those religious schools are not going to let those things slide, right? So it's not just about the education aspect, but it's about the whole round development of the children. There are some schools, and some of the same schools that I've called out, they have extracurricular activities, or they have additional programs that it's not just about the academic learning, but other things that the students can get involved in that all of the secondary schools don't have. All right. So it's not just about that. You also have to look at the situation of, it's a kind of bit of a tradition, right? There are some parents who, let's say, went to high school, they went to grammar school, they would also like for their child to go to the same schools that they went to. Either because you want to say within our family, all of us were graduates from this particular school. For some persons, this should not matter, but for some persons, it does. And should we take away that from them if their child actually has qualified to go to the schools? No, right? We also have to look at the situation of if parents are working in Kingstown. Yes, you might be from Georgetown, but parent is working in Kingstown. It is a lot easier for the parents to pick their child, drop their child into the town school. Once they have qualified, to drop their child to school, as both of them are within the same vicinity. If I am working in Kingstown, I live at Georgetown, and school ends. Yes, you might want to say you could give your child the key to go home, but there's a lot of other things could happen when you are not supervising a child, when you are not there around the child. If you are a single parent, you're going to be putting a lot of responsibility on this child to be disciplined and, not to take advantage of certain things. All right. And as parents, guardians, you have to kind of keep an eye on your child as they're growing up, because they can take a lot of things for granted. All right. So I can also understand that situation of parents working in town, and they also want to be able to drop their child to school, pick their child up, etc. It's the convenience of the whole situation. Additionally, we are talking about wanting for there to be qualified teachers in all of these schools. What am I supposed to do as a parent until we get to that level of all the schools having qualified parents, qualified teachers, right? Is it that my child's education is supposed to suffer, or I'm thinking that my child's education is going to suffer while waiting for the Ministry of Education or maybe teachers or whoever to get their act together to have all schools having qualified students? My child's learning should not be at a disadvantage as a result of that. So while I do understand this whole argument or this whole discussion about, yes, you might be passing, or you're on your way into town and you're going to be passing several schools on your way into town. The point is that not all of the schools are on the same level that some parents would get in the quality education, but also that holistic learning that many parents would like for their children to have. So that's just my take on it.
And I think with that, we can head out. Oh, unless there are any responses. No.
I see people typing, but all right, let me see if I could see this one. So, good morning, teachers. A teacher going to what is called a good school does not make you a good student. Facts. To most people, it is only boasting rights. Most government school children will outperform children going to these so-called special schools given the same resource. All right, so that's one point that came in. One thing that came in. All right, and somebody else is still typing. You got a second to put that through. All right, so we have to take it to the next segment.
So we gotta go now. We have to head straight into our traffic talk at this time, but we'll be back with more talk time soon.
WEFM is SVG.